Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're getting a little more hands-on, you could say. We're diving into the world of a concrete finisher supervisor.
Oh, a very concrete career choice, I'd say.
I see what you did there.
Ah.
But seriously, thanks to those who checked out RoleCatcher beforehand, now we get to really unpack their insights. Most people probably don't think about this career much, but it's everywhere.
You're right, it really is. Bridges, those massive skyscrapers, even just a smooth sidewalk, it all goes back to the concrete finisher supervisor.
Totally. And RoleCatcher does an awesome job showing it's not just about pouring concrete. There's leadership involved, problem solving, even a bit of artistry, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I was really struck by RoleCatcher's emphasis on the artistry part. You've got the rugged construction site, sure, but then these intricate finishing techniques. Did you know about stamped finishes? Like they can make concrete look like brick or stone.
Yes, seriously, that's so cool. I always wondered how they did that. It's like they're creating huge works of art.
Right. And it takes real skill. And to lead a team doing that kind of work on a tight schedule, that's where the supervisor role gets really interesting.
I bet. I can only imagine the pressure.
Oh, absolutely. RoleCatcher paints this scenario. You're on a packed construction site, deadlines looming, and suddenly, because of the heat, the concrete starts setting way faster than expected.
Oh no, that sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
Right. Total nightmare fuel. But a good supervisor, according to RoleCatcher, they've got to think on their feet. Not just knowing the technical stuff about concrete, but how to manage a team, fix problems instantly, all while keeping everyone safe in what can be a pretty hazardous environment.
It's like juggling a chainsaw, a bunch of eggs, and a live badger all at the same time.
That's one way to put it.
So you can't just jump into a role like this overnight, right?
Yeah.
RoleCatcher mentioned something about different stages in this career path.
Definitely not. RoleCatcher lays out a clear progression, starting with entry-level concrete finisher. It's like an apprenticeship, learning the ropes, mastering the tools, understanding the different types of concrete and how they, how they behave, I guess is a good way to put it.
So super hands-on, even from day one.
Oh yeah, totally. You're building that foundation, getting a feel for the materials, and as you become a junior finisher, then senior, your responsibilities grow along with that experience.
Like leveling up in a video game, but with way better paychecks, hopefully.
Oh yeah.
And here's something that surprised me. We think of construction as this traditional field, but RoleCatcher really stressed technology's role in this job.
Totally. They talk about laser leveling systems, using lasers to make sure surfaces are perfectly level. The precision is incredible.
Yeah, that's wild. I'm picturing those old school spirit levels, and this is like light years ahead.
Right. And it's more than just fancy tools. RoleCatcher said supervisors need to be comfortable with 3D models, digital blueprints, even working with robotics down the line.
Robotics on a construction site? Okay, now that's just cool. The future of concrete sounds pretty exciting. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I have to bring this up. RoleCatcher's support for job seekers was amazing. They don't just describe the job, they help you actually get it.
Couldn't agree more. Their interview prep was so helpful. It's like peeking behind the curtain, seeing what hiring managers are looking for.
Seriously. They've analyzed tons of interviews and found the most common questions for concrete finisher supervisors, like, how do you handle conflict on your team? Or, tell me about a time you had to make a difficult decision on a project.
And they give you real strategies, not just vague advice. They even use AI to help you tailor your responses. It's like having a personal career coach right in your pocket.
I was blown away by that AI tool that looks at your resume and tells you how to improve it based on the jobs you want.
You mean the RoleCatcher.capture plugin?
That's the one. You can save jobs from different sites, and it analyzes them all to find which version of your resume would be the best fit.
So smart. Right. They've thought of everything. They've got salary insights, industry trends. It's a goldmine of information.
Truly. But even with all the tech and resources, RoleCatcher made it clear. A concrete finisher supervisor success still comes down to good old-fashioned human skills. Leadership, communication, building a strong team, those are crucial.
Absolutely. And, as you gain experience in this role, there's a whole other dimension that comes into play.
Finger.
Mentorship. Yeah, mentorship. You can't talk about a concrete finisher supervisor's career without talking about mentorship. It adds a whole other level of, fulfillment, I guess you could say.
It's true. RoleCatcher really emphasized that. Passing on knowledge to apprentices, that's a big part of the job.
It is. It's like leaving your mark, not just on the physical structures, but on the people you work with. I remember reading about one supervisor. He was saying how he taught a new apprentice how to properly trowel a surface.
Yeah.
And he said watching that apprentice was like they were discovering a hidden talent.
Oh, I love that. That's what mentorship is all about, right? Passing on those skills, that passion.
Exactly.
But okay, let's be real for a sec. This job isn't always glamorous, right? RoleCatcher didn't shy away from the tough stuff either.
No, not at all. They were very upfront about the physical demands, long hours on your feet, sometimes in crazy weather.
Rain or shine, the concrete must be finished.
That's right. It's not a desk job, that's for sure. You gotta be okay with hard work and, well, a little bit of sweat.
Reminds me of that saying, hard work never hurt anyone. Although, knowing this job, there are probably some sore backs out there who might disagree.
Probably a few. But it goes beyond the physical stuff, too. RoleCatcher pointed out the mental toughness this job takes. Think about it. You're responsible for your team's safety, for hitting deadlines, and dealing with all the curveballs a construction site can throw at you.
And with concrete, you can't exactly hit undo if something goes wrong.
No kidding. Things happen fast. That's why RoleCatcher talks so much about quick thinking, problem solving. They had this one example. Imagine, you're pouring a big concrete patio and suddenly, downpour.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
I can already picture a total concrete soup.
Right. Disaster. But a good supervisor, they can adapt. Maybe they quickly cover the unfinished work or change the concrete mix on the spot to deal with the extra water. It's all about staying calm and finding solutions under pressure.
Sounds like strong communication skills are a must-have, too. You're not just managing materials, you're managing people.
100%. RoleCatcher was big on that point. A concrete finisher supervisor is like the link between the project managers, the finishing team, sometimes even clients. You've got to communicate clearly, address concerns, and know how to resolve conflict effectively.
So a little bit of diplomacy goes a long way on the construction site.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about technology, which is becoming more and more crucial in this field. Remember, we were talking about laser leveling before.
Yes, fancy lasers.
Yeah.
What else did RoleCatcher say about technology?
Well, they also highlighted 3D modeling software. It's all about planning and visualization. Imagine being able to create a virtual version of the concrete structure you're building.
Oh, wow. So you can spot problems before they even happen.
Exactly. And that's just the start. Remember, we talked about robotics having a role in the future? 3D modeling is a huge part of that.
Oh, right. So supervisors might actually be programming robots to do some of the work someday.
It's a real possibility. As technology keeps advancing, supervisors might use 3D models to, say, program a robotic arm to handle those really detailed finishing tasks.
Wow. That's incredible. It's clear that this isn't your grandfather's construction job anymore. It's high-tech and always changing.
You got it. And that's not the only thing changing. RoleCatcher also mentions sustainable building practices becoming super important.
Sustainable building, as in like eco-friendly concrete.
Exactly. Concrete production has always been a bit of a carbon hog, you could say, but now there's a big push towards greener options. RoleCatcher said supervisors need to be in the know about these new materials, things like concrete made from recycled stuff, or even concrete that can absorb carbon dioxide.
Whoa, wait, concrete that sucks up carbon. That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right? But it's becoming a reality. And supervisors, they're the ones on the front lines putting these innovations into practice. It's a lot of responsibility, but also a huge opportunity to make a real impact.
It's amazing how this career, which seems so grounded in the physical world, is also being shaped by these bigger global trends and new technologies. It's way more complex than I think people realize.
It totally is. And that's something RoleCatcher emphasized throughout their resources, the need to keep learning. Whether it's new tools, new materials, new ways of doing things, a concrete finisher supervisor's job is never really done when it comes to learning.
It's like they're lifelong students of concrete.
That's a great way to put it. And honestly, that's what makes this whole career path so interesting. Yeah, it's tough, it's demanding, you're gonna get dirty, but there's also a ton of reward. You're building something real, you're leading a team, you're part of shaping the world we live in.
So for anyone out there who likes to work with their hands, who enjoys a good challenge, and who isn't afraid of a little hard work, becoming a concrete finisher supervisor might be the perfect fit.
And if that sounds like you, well, RoleCatcher is right there to guide you. They've got the tools, the information, everything you need to explore this career path, from figuring out what skills you need to absolutely crushing those job interviews.
It's like they're handing you the keys to success in this field.
Yeah,
All the tips and tricks, straight from the pros.
exactly. It's all about giving people the knowledge they need to make smart choices about their careers.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Hmm.
This deep dive into the world of concrete finisher supervisors has been honestly pretty eye-opening. It's one of those careers most of us don't think twice about, but it's full of challenges, rewards, and that feeling of building something that lasts.
Couldn't agree more. And hey, you never know, maybe someone listening right now will be inspired to pick up a trowel and give it a shot.
And if they do, they'll have a big head start thanks to everything we've learned today. Thanks for being here for another deep dive. Remember, investing in knowledge today could lead to an amazing future. Final provocative thought. We talked a lot about how technology is transforming the construction industry. But what about the human side of things? How do you think the role of a mentor, someone who guides and inspires the next generation of skilled tradespeople, will change as technology continues to advance?